Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Bill Wyatt. I'm with the American Orthodontic Society, the AOS, and I am a general dentist who has been doing nothing but orthodontics for the last 42 years and a lot even before that. So, uh, the American Orthodontic Society is an organization of pediatric dentists and general dentists who are trying to teach other dentists how to do orthodontics, and also the members of our own organization. And we have a very good organization with our annual meetings, our journal that comes out about 3 or 4 times a year. You can get in the American Orthodontic Society and work up through the tiers and become board certified, and you will know how to do orthodontics if you go through the boards of the American Orthodontic Society. So, saying that, I'm going to talk to you a little bit this afternoon about this intruding arch that we came up with here about 40 something years ago, and it really works. And we use a special little spring loop on it, and we also use that same loop for other tasks in orthodontics, and I'm going to try to show some of those today before we get through with all this. Let's go ahead and start with the pictures. We're going to just jump right into the bending of these loops, and then I'll show you the intruding arch and how we make it using a wax pattern. This is a Tweed loop forming plier, and the secret of this plier is this little tip that's sitting right on here. They send you an extra one. Let me get up a closer picture to it, and I'll be drawing things on here and erasing it and going on with that. Here is a little closer picture. The underneath side of this is level. It fits in this trough right over here, you see, and you've got 3 different sizes of loops in it you can bend around there, you see, and you can put a wire across here in this trough and bend a circle that will fit over this small loop, or it'll bend one that goes over this one or the other one, of course, and make 3 different size circles with this Tweed loop forming plier. And you can make extremely neat circles or springs really, and you can circle them more than once if you want, and gives the spring a little more gentle pressure, you know, when you activate it. And we'll show you another view of the plier. There it is, where this piece of metal right here must be really stout, because they send you 2 of them when you order the plier, and it has a little Allen screw right here that goes in and screws down a flat section of that and holds it steady in the plier. And I have never broken one of these, but you never bend the loops in heavy wire, just your regular arch wires that you bend your loops in on this. But this is a stout little piece of steel. I don't know exactly what kind of steel it is, but it sure is a stout. I've never broken one, but if you do, you unscrew this, slide it out, slip a new one in, put your Allen screw back in, and you're back in business again. And that's worth having. Now, this is just an arch wire itself. You can get your arch wires made up yourself, or you can order them in just sticks. They come in about 14-inch sticks, and you cut them half in two, and 7 inches of wire makes almost any arch that you put in the mouth, and it goes out and you have extra left over. So we made ours for a long time, but you can just buy the ready-made ones. They're so economical and well made and everything, and get your loop, your arch form like you like it. And we always mark the center of them because you're going to go back. Now this material here, this is laid on, is not just a tablecloth or anything. It is a wax pattern. I'll show you. I've got a video on making these wax patterns and everything if you want to look at that. It's pure beeswax, and it comes in kind of rectangular sheets of it, like something like that, and you can cut them half in two, and you fit those over the teeth and press them down where your teeth have your brackets and everything on them, and it'll mark the track where the bracket is, and you can bend any kind of arch wire, any kind of loop you want to, right off of this wax pattern, and then fit it back into the mouth, and it'll fit if you do it right. And this is a big help in doing orthodontics, I tell you. So anyway, we've put this arch wire form. It's just laid out here, and we mark the center, and we mark right here between the molar and the second bicuspid on that deal. And so actually all we'll be doing in here is coming back here and between the bicuspid and the molar, and making this loop, this spring loop that we use. And the spring loop looks simple as all get out, but you go in a class of dentists, of smart, intelligent people, and you draw this out, say we're going to go over here, we're going to take a 90-degree bend, and then we're going to circle back like this, and then we'll come around to the other side, and we'll take a 90-degree bend, and we'll circle it, and we come back like this. Now if you activate them, you can activate it right here. You can bend this down, and that'll make you, when you activate this, in other words, you put this in the lower arch, you'll be in the molar here, and you'd have to, this would be coming out like that, coming around. And when you raise this up, it tightens this spring, and that lowers the anterior teeth up here, tends to raise the posterior teeth that it's hooked to, tends to raise the medial of the molar up, but then the person chews on that, and that keeps this down in place, and that's how we figured this arch out. And it's that same principle works.
Sorry,
in
I don't understand.
Several things. So I'm going to close this off for a second here and see what all right, we're back in business again, and this is just a little illustration here. We'll go into this in more detail in a little bit, is how this thing works. So I'm gonna go ahead and erase that, and this is just an arch wire. We've marked where we want to put the bends, or we won't do much for up here, but we're going to bend the loops back at this point right there. All right, here we put a mark in there, and we put this mark right behind the bicuspid bracket, right in there where the arch would be coming through the bicuspid bracket about at this point right in here somewhere, and we're going to bend this loop here. So this, you can watch this mark as it, where it ends up there as we bend the loop. Now you here looks like we're bending it on this small one. Normally we get it on the second loop around there, make it about that size, and you press the plier to, which mashes the wire in between here, and then you're going to bend this side more or less straight up from that area right there. So we'll erase that and press that plier, and here the wire's coming in and it's pressed around like that, and we'll roll or bend it with our finger. We're going to show just step by step each bend and what's pressing on the wire. You see this wire is pressed into the finger. This is a young lady that really knows how to bend wire, and she is bending this, and we're photographing it 1-to-1 right there, so, or even more than that, and you can see the indentation into her finger where she's pushing that wire down, you see. Now we go ahead and bend that down, and we'll show it up closer. And now we're going to take this part of the wire and go all the way around and bend it up this way, and you see it pressing into the tip of the finger of the thumb there at that point. And you normally bend the wire itself, you clamp it with a plier and then bend it with your fingers. Now sometimes you can't bend it with your fingers, so you have to use a plier, but watch this go around on that little point of that little circle on that plier. Alright, we circle it down, you see it embedded into the finger or the thumb right there. They're pushing that. So now we'll come out, we make a 90-degree bend, and we're going to head it up in that direction. Okay, we'll make another picture here, and now you bend it to get it to be straight like that. You got to bend it a little bit over that, and so when she releases it, this will come back, or she knows about where to bend it to get it to come back up straight. Now I take that back. We're not going to just bend it up there straight, but we're going to go ahead and circle back around on this side again, and now come back up, and then we'll bend it out in that direction. Now you need to make a decision right here as to whether you want the loop to go out or in. Now here the loop is going to go in. Let me erase that, and you can see we're dropping it behind the wire here. See, and now we'll bring it down inside this part and circle around on the other side of this, and now we'll roll the plier around and bend it back out in that direction. I got mixed up on it myself, and I've been thousands of these things, so you can do that. Now here we're pulling it over there. I guess we'll, now you just showing you another view of it. Whether you're going to go on this side, you make a decision, and you have to bring this tail end of the wire back over on this side of this wire here and pull it underneath there. Now this is not up against the plier, it's out on the end, out on part of this little protrusion that sticks out here. So we'll pull it down, and we'll go all the way around it again and then come up this way. Alright, see, now we've completely gone under with that, and we'll continue to roll our plier around until this bent wire is going to be on that side, the other side of this wire right here, and circle around over to this side. You got to take a lot of pictures to get this all down, and it looks so simple when you're looking at it, yet I've gone in and given wire and shown and drawn and explained and everything, and then tell people, everybody, okay, now you bend a couple of these spring loops in this arch wire and we'll mark it and everything, and you'd be surprised how they will come out with that. And these are not, these are usually very smart people. A lot of them a whole lot smarter than I am, I know it. So here we're pulling down on it, and we'll just keep going down, and we're going to roll that plier around. Now we're continuing, and we'll bring that plier up here, then we take this plier out and then put this portion here will be down under it. But this is pretty good way to learn how to bend it. Now I'm going to slide that plier out of there. No, I didn't. I'm going to continue to bend, go around that loop with it. And we still haven't. Now I've taken the plier out and put it in, and we'll roll this around on that side. Now see, it's still not over there. We're going to push it up there with a finger. And you can tell that finger's got a lot of pressure on it when that wire's buried up in it like that. You're going to bring it around and get it pretty well straight up and down there. All right, finally we've got it around nearly straight. Now you're going to have to bend it more than that to get it actually straightened out there. Now we put this, we take it out and put it in, and this part is over here now, and we'll bend this. This is coming off here, and this should be about 90 degrees angle right there now, and then we're going to bend that over that. Alright, now we roll this up here, see, and now you're bending this out in that direction. Now you should be able to take these pictures, just go one at a time, and be able to bend this wire, but don't feel bad if you screw up and you come out. A lot of guys will come out and just make a deal like this, you know, and just still, and that's not what we're asking for, nor going out having it do this either. It's not either one of those. See, you go out, make a 90-degree bend, now you make your circles, you come back up, bend this out like that. That doesn't show it there good, but let me go ahead and finish this. So we're going to press that down, and you can tell the pressure into the finger right here. See? And so there, she's bending most of this, and it's being bent over the edge of this plier. See it right in here, a little rounded area. You always want to bend your wire over something. You don't want to bend like that in it. That's too much. Just the bend needs to be kind of gentle, because you're stretching the molecules over here and you're squeezing the ones on this side when you make a bend like that. Alright, now we've bent that down like that, and you can see the pressure of the finger fitting over that thing. Now some of you are going to look at this and say, I'll never be able to do that, but you can. Once you learn how to do it, you can almost do it blindfolded, where you could virtually do it that quick. Alright, here is the spring in the wire. We've marked it right here, and we went down and went around. We jumped over on the other side and finished coming back up on this side, and then ran out in this direction. Now one of the wires is over here, and then you've got this loop, you see, and the other one is on the other side, so your wire is a little different. If you want the two wires to be absolutely the same, you can do it, and then the wire would be the same, but the loop will have a little twist to it like that. But you can make this come out any way you want to right there. Now if you activate it, we usually activate the distal end of it, and we'll show that in just a few more pictures here. Now there we've been, okay, we're activating it now. So we put the plier back in, ran this around, and this part that went out this way, we're bending it down like that. So that's an awful lot of activation. Normally we wouldn't put in more, something like this. And we like to put a rectangular wire in there, because if you put a round wire and you activate it very much, it can roll, and then this part will go in or it'll go out like that. The thing will roll or twist in the tube back in the back. You see, the tube is square. The tube is made to fit 1825 wire, see, and we make these out of 1725 rectangular wire. In other words, it's 17 in the vertical dimension, 25 in the horizontal dimension right in here. And we're gonna, that's a little more than that, but it's like 17 thousandths here, and this is 25 thousandths this way. And that's what you call a rectangular arch wire, you see. And that's what we make most of these out of, is a 1725 arch wire. And so these springs are coming off like that, circling around like this here. Now, several people have asked what kind of technique do you use in straightening teeth, and I'll try to tell some of it. We basically we started off as straight wire, but we added so many things to it, and the people that made straight wire wasn't using their bracket, so they wanted me to not say I had a straight wire course or anything. So we changed it. We just called it straight wise, W-I-S-W, just wise, W-I-S-E, and we called it a Bill Wyatt straight wise orthodontics. In other words, just we made it, we just said, well, it's a smarter straight wire, really. And we added several things to it to make the wise part of it, and I've added probably 15 or 20 different little things to the straight wire. Like our intruding wires are different, and a lot of the things that we use, our bracket heights on the bands are different, and I use an 018 bracket slot. Most of the guys have a 022, or they got started off in that. But you can do everything or anything you want to with an 018, and it's a lot lighter arch wire. And if I come up against a big problem, we use our Big Daddy arch wire, that 036 or 030 or even a 040 round wire, to do a lot of this expansion that we can do. And we can do almost anything with that large wire on the outside that you can do with anything you can get a hold of to put on the inside to do. We can do nearly anything on that from the outside. It's much simpler, cheaper, and easier to use. Okay, here we've activated this wire, and I'll show it. Now that's the wire, the loop that we bent. You see, now if the arch wire is going around over here, we'll have another one of these loops over here, and it'll be activated the same way. Alright, you bend one, and then you cross over to the other side. You had a mark there, and we'll go and proceed bending the second one, you see. Now she made she'll make the down bend. She came back over here, and she's going to circle back around like that. And we'll go through it a little quicker. And she changed sides with the loops. Brought it back up on the side. Wheel that around on that side. Kicked it over to the side, and you can bend one of these just about that fast once you learn how to do it. And then she's activated a little bit more. That's a little too much activation, and you're going to figure out how much of this you're going to use in the molar, and then you cut off the rest of it. A lot of times we'll take this and kind of buff it down so we can slide it into the molar tube much easier. We have a auxiliary tube that is a 18-25 tube. In other words, it's like such. It's 18 in this dimension, 25 in this dimension, and this wire just fits in there. That'll be a 17. This wire is 17-5. It's slightly shallower right here. It'll slip in this slot that's in my molar on the buccal side of my lower 6-year molar. See that this is going to go in, or if it goes up above, we have an auxiliary tube up there just like it, and we can put both upper and lower intruding wires on there. This one's got a whale of a lot of tip in it. That's at least 45, maybe a little more than 45. I don't like to do that much. I usually do something like that. Is about all the activation I put in there. Now every loop that we put to work or that we use, when you activate it, in other words, you got some high teeth over here, and we're going to bring this arch wire up and hook it up here, and it's going to squeeze this spring and tighten the spring up, and the spring wants to work for you, trying to loosen itself, and it will darn sure lower these teeth. I can lower somebody's teeth with this second arch wire in here, really, while you're getting ready to, if you're depending on a single arch wire to do this, because we could put this on day one. The teeth can be crooked and everything else in here, and we've got a flexible wire on all this, but we come over the top of this and hook it to what's highest out here, and it'll start activating this the day you start your orthodontics. And so we'll have this bite leveled a lot of time before somebody else would get their teeth lined up enough to be able to put a stiff wire in there with a reverse curve in it to lower the bite. And you can cut off 2 to 3 months off of your treatment time using the double arch like that, with an intruding wire plus a flexible wire, which we'll talk about quite a bit. You get in here. Alright, here is the intruding wire. Now, this is a typodont, of course, and this is an upper one where we're going to be elevating these teeth, and we're going to be pushing these up, though they don't need it. But if these teeth were way down here, you see, we would put that on somebody and it'll pick those teeth up for something else. Now it'll tend to torque them out here, so we like to tie our arch wire back real tight in here. We put omegas on it and have them coming out, and we tie that back so this arch wire can't slip. Now they'll still try to torque these teeth, so it'll pull the whole dental arch forward just a fraction. Intruding the teeth up here will make your maxillary arch go forward. So if you need to move your maxillary arch or the teeth forward up here, you can level them out with that, and it will cause it to go that way. That's a lot of people don't understand that. You'd be surprised how many people do not understand that. Now we slip this in. Of course, we are going to take it out and we're going to cut it off, and then we kind of polish it up so it slides in that tube easy. And now we just tie it back on the highest teeth out here. I'll show that to you on some deep bite cases. And we've taken on anything deep bite. It doesn't matter who it is or how it is and how old they are or anything else. You can level their bite. And when the teeth go down, the bone goes with the teeth. And that's been that way for years, and yet people do not think about it that way. You move the group of teeth, the bone goes with them. So just remember that. That's worth knowing. All right. Here we take this intruding wire, and we've got a little flexible. Say this is a 016 tie wire that's straightening out everything and leveling between tooth to tooth and all this. And we take and hook this intruding wire. It came from up here now. It was way up here, and we brought it down. So it's going to tend to pick this up. Now it also tends to flare it out. So you want your arch wire tied back. If you need some space in it, okay. Now if you get too much in there, you may want to take this wire out pretty soon, as quick as it gets the teeth lined up, and put a rectangular wire in there with some reverse torque. In other words, bringing the roots out like this and the crowns back a little bit is what we call reverse torque, and you're trying to build this up. I just finished a video on a kind of a botched up orthodontic case that we had to move all these teeth out and bring the roots forward and everything. Let me clean that up. When you start moving the roots forward up here in the anterior part of the mouth, you need to have a vascular bed go in front of this thing. And so we run this kind of a super lip bumper in there. It's made out of heavy wire, and it looks to be terribly uncomfortable and everything, but people like it. It just goes in there. They don't have to take it out. They can brush and clean their teeth behind it, and that runs interference. It pushes the lip out of the way. So this tissue has nothing to prevent the vascular bed from going in front of the roots of the teeth and the bone as they move forward up here. So if you want to bring the anterior plate of bone structure, the teeth and all out, run interference from with a lip bumper. They're one of the best tools we have in orthodontics. All right, here this is coming in. This is going to be intruding these teeth in that direction. We just put little rubber elastic deals over this wire. Now I never trust those completely, because this thing got a lot of oomph to it and it wants to come up here, so I don't want to break it loose, so we wire it on at least a couple of places in there. And I've been using these intruding wires now about 35 years or something like that. You can see on that one video we got the birth of the intruding wire. Now there it is, hooked. Now these teeth out here are going to be lifted by the arch wire itself. Now these two right here are going to pull it up, and this is also, and yeah, well, we don't have that one joined in it. So normally you got the other anterior teeth are down like this, you see. So we're picking them up, then the bicuspids are here, the centrals are out here, see, for central laterals. Okay, now I'm going to tie this wire. This is an 010 soft stainless steel wire, and you use it almost like thread. It's just really soft, and we're going to come in and tie over this wire, and it'll be twisted down like that. And you don't want this little twisted end to stick out here, so you push it back here and it'll squeeze those two wires together, and then this twisted part will pop back in that direction, and you can't hardly get it out of there. You have to just cut it to get it off of there. Then it won't come out and stick them and tear their lip up, you see. All right, I lap it over there, and we'll twist it down and get it down real close, and then we'll cut it off. Now that little jewel will tear your lip up like mad, and it's held in there like this with this twist out here, and there's a wire here and a wire here, you see. Now we want to shove it over and squeeze those wires, and the wires will be kind of over one another, and slip it down here, and then they'll pop back in place, and the twist will be out here going to the back instead of to the front, and brushing their teeth and all that won't cause it to come back to the front again. And it leaves a smooth piece of wire right over where you rub it with the lip, and it'll be that close to that elastic. Okay. All right, I'm going to shove that back with the director. We shove it over here, and if you watch these wires, they'll kind of get on top of one another, and then all of a sudden, boom, that thing will spring back here, and the wires will come back in that shape right there. That's a little trick that'll save you a lot of headache when people call up and say, oh boy, this is just eating my lip up right here. All right, you see now the loop is headed out to the back, and then this is just a smooth piece of wire across the arch wire itself, and you've got this heavier elastic over the arch wire also there. Now if you get it over there, I didn't get a good picture of it going to the back. Well, there we are now. The twist is going this way, and it'll stay that way, you see. All right, here is here's one where the twist is going down a little bit, but there, and this over here, but that's out of focus. All right, now here is that intruding loop, you see, that went up like this, and then this was going up this way, and now it's coming down. So we have squeezed this loop together. Now a lot of people don't understand that you make something like this, you activate it, come up here, you tighten this spring up, and it makes it want to loosen up more, and so it works for you, intruding these teeth out here. It'll also push this tooth down in this direction. That makes this tooth come in a lot of contact, and that bites against this, and this Carrier appliance uses this same theory. In other words, they bond this thing on the 6-year molar. It's kind of a rotating thing, and it comes out here and is bonded to the cuspid, and you can pull back on this. As it tends to go down, pull the cuspid down, it'll tend to cock this tooth down and makes it hit the contact greater, and that occlusion hammers that tooth back up, and this stays where it is, and then your class 2 correction goes in this direction there. So the theory behind the intruding wire, the thing that makes it work is this, and the thing that makes the Carrier appliance work is this. Now they make a neat little appliance, and it is nice, and you can just buy it, pay them for it, and stick it on there, and it'll correct. If they wear the elastic, it will correct the class 2 problem for the person. So it is I put my signature on it. It's okay. Not that I have the answer to all this stuff either, but I see it's very common. It is good in a way. Now a lot of times we'll run these wires out here and hit that with an optical plier and push on this tooth to keep that wire from getting caught or getting pinched on your cheek up here, anything like that. We do that sometimes to push this tooth in this direction, your second molar in that direction. There's a lot of little things you do in there. Now we have this omega, you see, on this wire, and we've got it tied back behind this, and that's keeping the wire. This wire is tied back tight so that these teeth can't go forward much, but as you torque those anterior teeth and intrude them, they're going to have a certain amount of force, and so your maxilla will move forward just a little bit when you lower the teeth like that with this arch or any kind of arch you want to, simply because the anterior teeth are setting at such an angle. Okay, excuse me, we're back to nothing here. Now I wanted to show you another thing or two that this spring also works on, and I'm going to just get a plain white sheet here, and you've come on cases where you have a molar something like this, you know, and then another molar in here, and there's something that's been lost in this area, and now you're bicuspid, or you got a space or something here, and they may be coming out like this on this side. My drawing won't be ideal, and you got actually a bend in this wire coming right like here, and you want to bring these teeth down and these up a little bit and flatten this out. You can take your arch wire and come right here, put one of these, get halfway in between this, and put this spring loop, and you can activate it more. You can have it coming down like this. Now hook it into these teeth like that, and it will tend to lower this back part and lower this out here and flatten this whole arch out like that. You can also tie back in here, and it will make the root structure go distal along with the crowns, and these crowns will go, the roots will go distal, these will go medial, and you'll bring this space together, and if you keep that downward pressure in here, you can pull these teeth right up beside one another in here, and have the roots right underneath the teeth, and have the bicuspid come right in here. So this spring that you learn how to bend there is used in a lot of applications. We'll put it in like that, or when I'm closing space on somebody, let me kind of erase that and go back to a white sheet over here, like you lost a 6-year molar in here, and you've got a bicuspid sitting in this area in here, and you've got a root resorption already, and now we've got a molar coming in here, and we're going to drag this molar up into that spot. You can pull that molar forward by simply putting one of these deals in there, and then you angle it down like such. Now when you put it in, you would like for it to be pretty much halfway in between the teeth here. Now you can tie from that to the back of this, and you can pull this root forward. This will be coming out here, and this, if you stick it in here, the arch will be going down over here. You bring it up, it will have a backward bend on the roots right here, and you pull on them. These roots will go forward about the same way the crown will go forward there, and this will come backward, and you'll have to adjust that root too. You can bring it together. If you want this to come forward and you don't want this to go backward, put your tad in here and bond it to the tooth right there. Then these stay, and this will come forward, all this stuff back in the back. So we use that loop several other places in orthodontics. It is a very efficient loop to use, and learn how to use it. So I'm going to advise you to go home and take these pictures and sit down, get you some good wire and some good light and everything, and sit down and learn to bend it. You can make the teeth do darn near anything within reason that you want to. And age seems to have very little to do with it. If you've got bone structure that's good and everything, you can move teeth around. I've never started anybody that was 90 years old, but I have worked on a lot of people into their 90s, and their bone moves, their teeth move, they expand, have all kinds of things. Well, I guess I better hush. My dog has come out, and you can probably hear him barking at something out here. So anyway, I've enjoyed putting this on, and I hope you enjoy listening to it. But honestly, take these pictures and try to learn how to bend these loops. So this is Dr. Bill Wyatt, and I'll be looking for you again at another video before too long. Thank you now, and good evening. Bye-bye.